Hey guys, I'm PJ. This is Elly. Welcome to
So,
314 Podcast.
hi,
What's up?
Buttercup.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Y'all, this is going to be a great episode.
It's a great episode, you think, because you came up with the idea. It's probably going to be the best one we've ever done. Why don't you talk to him about
It is about annoyances or being annoying or things that annoy you. You could put any of those titles in there.
There's a lot of stuff that annoys you.
Yeah, I have a list. There's quite a few things.
It's more than that, probably, though, isn't it? Don't you have
Well,
one on your phone?
it's a top 10, but not necessarily in any particular order. But do you think that people are annoying on purpose?
Yeah. I think people sometimes are annoying on purpose. They do it intentionally to get people ticked off or riled up, or I don't think they all the time are, though.
Well, some of the things on my list I don't think are always intentional. But I do think that people can be mean and do it on purpose to aggravate somebody.
That's probably true. Do you? Do you do stuff like that on purpose?
Sometimes.
Do you think people watching do?
Probably.
I know a couple people watching probably do.
So,
So
this
we're
is
gonna
not meant to offend, but you're probably going to be offended.
but we're gonna give lists, and some of our people that we know or church people are going to do stuff intentionally just to see if we
Well,
say anything about it.
That's the risk you have to take. However, some people are going to see the list and immediately, or hear the list, you can't see it, but you'll hear it and immediately name a person or think of somebody, right?
Yeah, that's not to offend. But one thing that we're talking about this for is because we've got to learn how to deal with annoying things in our life, not just people, but stuff that drives us crazy.
Yeah.
And you got to learn how to deal with it as a Christian. You want to read the scripture that stood out to you?
The one that stood out to me the most is that last one. But I like what you say about the
First
first one,
Corinthians. Go ahead.
All right, mine is
Fourth.
First Corinthians.
Fourth, you got to speak the epitome. You like Mike Tyson. This is going to be a precarious situation.
Okay, 1 Corinthians 13:5
It's a good one.
says, when it's talking about love, it isn't rude. It doesn't seek its own advantage. It isn't irritable. It doesn't keep a record of complaints. I feel
Was
like
that feminine?
there's an arrow sign for me.
We should probably put those up. Every time it talks about you, it should be a red arrow over you, and me, a red arrow over me.
Read your scripture. But tell me why it ties into annoyances, because I didn't understand that at first. Like, I
Well,
didn't see it the way you saw it.
When I think about it this way, when I know I'm going somewhere, sorry, my voice is deep for right now, and I can't clear my throat.
I'm sexy
So-
and I know it.
What's that got to do with anything?
Deep voices.
That guy's voice. Oh yeah, I guess his voice is deep. Anyway, when you're going somewhere and you know some of these annoying people are going to be there, and some of those annoyances are going on, it frustrates me. It worries me to the point because I think I'm going to sin. I'm going to get mad. I'm going to get TO'd. I'm going to get ticked off. And I like it because, well, I mean, I like the scripture anyway, but it's in Matthew. I think it's
Wait a minute. So you know if you're
6:34.
going into an annoying situation,
Yeah.
this
Don't
will
right.
help
Well,
you?
stop worrying about it because tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough of its own. Now, a lot of people think, and I preach it a totally different way, is not about worrying all the time, but
Right.
when you know something is going to frustrate you and bother you, if you're a Christian, it ought to worry you to the point. When I say worry, it ought to get you to that point where you don't want to go into a situation knowing, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be sitting with this person, they're gonna be doing this, it's gonna drive me crazy.
Right.
Or also, and then there was a verse you read just a minute ago. It says, it was Ephesians 4:30, 37 or 27. There's no 37, 27. Read that one. The second verse right there.
Okay. Don't provide an opportunity for the devil. So we're being used by the devil for annoying.
Well, it gives place to the devil. Don't allow an opportunity for that to happen. So you've got to figure out the things that annoy you, how to deal with it.
Okay. I get that.
What devices, like Bill Cosby used to do his routine, he'd go 1, 2, or 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? He found a mechanism not to get ticked off about it or not to let it bother him.
Got it.
So
Interesting.
I think that's very appropriate. Don't provide an opportunity. if you're to the point you get so ticked off about these things, and 90% of these things are me. She's fixing to say probably.
I cannot deny that.
Okay. All right, so let's just start with your list. Let's go down and talk.
Okay.
We don't have to go all the way
All
down
right.
them at
Now,
once,
let's
but
remember they're not in any particular order.
they
All right, here we go.
probably are.
This a lot of people can agree with. Smacking or chewing noises very loudly.
Okay, I agree with you on that one. That is my list. That is number 2 on my list.
Yours are in order.
Well, not really necessarily, but that's number 2 on my list. It's smacking.
So, yeah. That cow noise.
You're doing it right now.
I was just, it is an example.
My English teacher, Miss McMurray, used to say, quit chewing like a cow chewing is good.
Yes, that's what it sounds like. So I'm helping you guys out. Don't be a cow noiser.
Dude, just don't put so much food in your mouth that you have to smack it.
Right.
Put a little bit in there, chew it. It's just as good with a little bit as it is with a bunch.
And just practice training yourself. I'm just going to help you out. Breathe with your nose.
If you
So, because I think some people do it because they think they're going to suffocate or something. Like they aren't going to be able to breathe.
I guess.
So,
That's funny. Breathe through your nose.
It's
so
possible.
You think it's just mouth breathers that smack?
yeah, I think it could be tied together. I think somebody should do a study
Some
on
of the people that we love in our life probably do smack. I know of a couple. But man,
Well, just be self-conscious, especially when you're in public.
I don't think they mean anything by it.
No.
You know, they're just trying to enjoy their food,
Yes.
enjoy life, and then they talk.
It just tastes so good.
Oh, man.
Okay, my next one is drinking noises.
Wait, like
But but that's not as bad as.
or we used to have one in the Sunday school class that did this,
Yeah.
and I wanted to smack the.
Well,
And I still probably do.
mine is particularly with straws.
Oh.
So, like you're driving around in your automobile and you hear a kid in the back go up with the straw, and you hear the liquid moving
Okay.
within the plasticness of the straw, and it makes this weird sound. I can't deal with it.
The plasticness.
Right, that's a word. But there are ways to use straws so that you don't hear the liquid moving within it.
So really, this one you just really narrowed this down. Riding around with people in the back seat, and usually, I mean, there ain't nobody in the back seat but
It's our
kids.
kids. Like, oh man, it's so bad. And most of them have learned, but some of them now do it on purpose. I'm convinced.
Oh yeah.
So if you just suck it slowly, it doesn't make that noise. I shouldn't use that word.
I don't. We've lost control. I have no
Yeah,
idea
sorry.
what's going on.
All right, I'm gonna
let
move on.
me give you one of mine.
Okay.
That you given two, and then
Okay.
one of yours
Sorry.
was mine. So smacking your food. My number one pet peeve. Number one. You probably guess what it is people that pop their gum.
Oh, I knew that was number one.
That they're not blowing bubbles, but internally, how they
Yeah, they pop it.
in their mouth, and it's like that, but
Yeah.
it's really really loud.
So I do
I'm
that
a-
one on purpose when I know that I want to be annoying to him.
So
But there are times where I don't. I forget. Like,
so what about your scripture that you said that you read
then
in
I'm being
Ephesians
used by the
6:34?
devil, I guess.
Don't give place to the devil.
I'm being used by the devil.
But you people that pop your gum in public, stop it.
Oh, it is bad.
I mean, I almost walked across the gym one time and just
Well, in a
reached
gym,
in and
it's
took the
really-
finger out and pulled the gum out of their mouth.
You can't do that.
And then at the baseball field,
In a gym, it is bad because it echoes.
it's bad, y'all. And it's
But it's funny, like when I hear people doing it, like it doesn't bother me as much as it does you. But when I hear people doing it, I cringe because I'm like waiting for your response, even if you're not there. And I hear somebody do it, I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna be good.
I hope you don't pop your gum. In Sunday school next week, people are gonna pop their gum on purpose.
We should have a trash can ready they can spit their gum out in.
Miss
They're gonna
McMurray
do
used to do that. That's funny. I've mentioned her twice so far.
Okay, my next sound. Ready?
A sound?
Well, it is a sound.
Oh.
Most of these are related to sounds.
Okay.
Oh, so there it is right there. Mine is sound related.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ice. Like, I like ice, and I need ice in my drinks, but, like, I purposely didn't put ice in this water because I knew it would make noise. So, I don't even know how to describe it.
Like when people put ice in a cup and they
yeah,
it's
like if they're
almost empty.
sitting beside you and all you hear is,
Or when the drink's almost empty and they turn it up and it goes back down and
Yeah, I
makes
don't
all the
wanna
noise.
hear that. I don't really know. I can't even give you a theory behind it. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's distracting. Or I'm trying to watch a movie or something.
Because Haley does it all the
Oh,
time.
it's bad. She puts them in these metal cups and then it's really loud.
I think sometimes she does that on purpose for you.
Probably so.
What? Okay, let me give you one.
Okay.
Left-hand drivers, left-hand lane drivers that go slow.
I was like, left-handed driver.
Not left-handed drivers. That would be Bailey. Bailey's left-handed driver. But people that drive in the left-hand lane
That's
and they
bad.
go, and there's
Well,
probably a million of y'all.
But it's against the law.
Well, they do it.
But yeah.
Rainbow Drive and or Gadsden all the way to Rainbow City.
Move over
I don't even know why you do it.
to be annoying.
I don't
I
think
think
that.
some people do it on purpose to get at you. Just like they pump those brakes to say back off, Buttercup. I think they drive that left lane to be annoying too. So they're being used by the devil.
Left-hand lane drivers. That drives me crazy. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I have on my list idiot drivers. So does that qualify as that, idiot
Mhm.
drivers? Mine's more like the dude we saw on the way home from church today that was swerving all over the place because I'm gonna say he was on his phone.
He was. Because we were behind him at the red light and he was on his phone.
He was everywhere. It was like ping pong. No, pinball. Doing, doing, doing. It was everywhere. That's an idiot driver. And that's annoying. Like furiously annoying.
Oh, this is not going to
Okay.
be helpful at all.
Dragging your feet. Pick your ever loving feet up.
So
bad.
people that drag their feet when they walk.
Yes. But you know.
Like Haley was doing across the house just a minute ago.
Yeah. But it could also be
Or Will walking in
representative
Crocs.
of do they drag their feet in life? Like I would love to do a psychological study on that. Do people who drag their feet in life, like literal dragger feeders, do they drag their feet in other areas of their life?
Well, I know two that we know that drag their feet and they have to
They're
be.
procrastinators.
They are.
Somebody do a study on that. It's like you say, if you like to make the bed every morning, like you want it done. I despise making the bed. I will leave it unmade.
I can tell.
I will leave it unmade. I don't care. But your theory is what on making the bed?
Well, I'm getting something accomplished. I've accomplished my first task for the day.
Yeah. But you heard somebody talk, a military man,
Mm-hmm.
and he said that that's part of. How did you explain that?
Well, that was part of it. Was
Oh.
getting your first thing accomplished.
So it sets you up for success.
It sets you up for success
You're
that
gonna
day.
have okay.
I've accomplished a goal for that day. Is I did something, and it keeps you out of the bed. I'm not thinking about getting back in the bed. I'm done with that part today.
Got it.
I'm going to
Okay.
be. And
So
also,
could
it
you
drives me
relate-
crazy to walk back through there, and it's messed up. Like
I
right
wonder
now.
if there could be a study on people who make their beds and how successful they are in life.
Oh, then it's probably gonna be if you bake your bed, you're a failure because I mean, it just seems like that's where my life is.
Gosh, that's not true. Okay, here's one. Okay. The snorting. Not snoring. Snorting.
I can't do it right now because I don't have any
Like
stuff
I
going on. But
can't even process that.
yeah, I can't do it.
But yeah, that's an annoying noise, especially like if you do it in public.
Clearing your nostrils, your,
Yeah, that
your
clearing
allergy
noise.
stuff. You're clearing
Go
it out. yeah.
out, blow your nose, get it out.
But what if people
Get
can't
it
blow
out.
their nose?
Who can't blow their nose?
It hurts me to do it.
What?
It does.
How?
I don't know.
You got something in there that needs to come out.
Maybe.
Yeah, one of them deviated septums. Maybe that's what you need.
I don't know what that is.
You
but,
need a surgery.
but it only does. I only do it when my allergies are bothering me.
Okay. If you're watching and you're a doctor, let's talk about that. I bet you need surgery.
I probably do. I probably have multiple things I need surgery on.
I'm
just not
the
going
nose.
to do it.
Let's just work on the inside, the
Oh
interior.
my gosh. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, so is it my turn?
I only have a couple left. Yeah, you go
Oh,
ahead.
you go ahead.
No, you're first.
I haven't been.
I'm not being used by the devil. I want you to go first.
No, I don't want to give place to the devil. Oh, in that case, I'll go. All right. So another thing that drives me crazy, and I hadn't had this happen in quite a while. And well, that's not true. It's not true. It has happened. It happened a few weeks ago.
That means I don't do it?
No. When people in church,
Oh, no.
and I'm getting to our church, and I mean, there ain't many of our people, so you probably know who I'm talking about, is unwrapping candy
Oh,
or
I forgot about
and
that.
dude, it was one Wednesday night where we had a small group. It was well, we wasn't that small, but for our adult Bible study class that
And
we
they
did.
passed them all around. Oh my gosh.
But one person in particular took, I promise, it seemed like 3 minutes to
remember
undo
that.
it. It's just like peppermint undoing it. It's
Yes. And I thought for sure you were going to jump off the stage
but I handled it.
or wherever you were.
But
Maybe
no-
you were on the floor that
Yeah, I
night.
was on the floor that night.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we were in that room because our air conditioners were being
Oh yeah,
replaced.
that small room. That's right.
Yep.
Well, that kind of falls with mine is bag noises. Like when people eat chips, a bag of chips or something, and they like put your little 2 fingers in the bag, grab the one chip you desire, and munch on that mother, but don't the whole bag. It's ridiculous. Or this will help you out. Get you a little napkin or a paper plate.
This
or
is very
something.
true. She tells us
And just
to do this.
put your chips on there. And
When you're
then
sticking
there's
your hand in the
nothing.
bag
Yes. Oh, gosh, it's awful. It's so bad.
But you do it.
What?
You do it.
I
You
do
You
not.
put your every time you do. Just think about it. When you put your hand in the bag, I need you to just stop and look at me, because I'm looking at you, going, you get on people for the same
I
thing.
don't think I do. I intentionally put my hand in there in a manner that they don't rub the edges of the bag and grab one
But
chip.
look at my hands. Look at my hands. Sorry.
That's when you pour it out on a bag.
But you don't have to go in like this, I guess.
Right.
You just
go
like this.
grab one. And then when you eat the chip, put the whole thing in your mouth. You don't have to go. Like, who takes 4 or 5 bites of one triangle?
I don't know what's happening here.
Okay, I'm just helping people out. I just need them to not be used by the devil.
This has got really bad.
Okay, that's about it. I only got one left.
What? Okay, go ahead.
Before I think I'm so pretentious. Okay, the water bottle noises. That annoys you.
Mm-hmm.
I know it does. Like,
That's made my list.
okay, when you drink from a water bottle, let's pretend this is a water bottle.
This is literally just an etiquette
I'm
class
really
for you.
helping everybody out. Hold it from the bottom where it's more sturdy and the plastic is thicker and there's more liquid in it, so it's like sturdier, and you won't hear that crickle, crickle, crickle noise and the pop, pop, pop. If you hold it from the middle, it caves in and pops and crackles and it sounds like Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
You just hold it from the bottom.
It's bad, y'all. Sometimes y'all need to. It's like you got to squeeze the bottle
I just
when you're
did.
drinking it. Yeah, you slammed it down.
No, I went.
Oh, did you? Yeah, well, you do that stuff. on
Yeah,
purpose.
you don't have to squeeze the bottle to get the water out. It's not a sporty drink thief. You just hold the bottom, toss that sucker back. Okay.
Keep talking.
All right. That's it. I think I went over everything, and now everybody thinks I'm. I
No,
think
no, I don't think
maybe
anybody
there
thinks that.
is actually a diagnosis for people who don't like certain noises, and it starts with an M. I can't remember the name of it, and it's a really long word. But anyway.
So the title of our podcast is 314 Podcast. What does that say? Colossians 3:14.
And over all these things put on love, which is the perfect bond of unity.
So how do we handle people that or things that annoy us?
You do this. You help them. You show them the light.
You passively aggressive talk about it on YouTube and Spotify.
I think you walk away, count to 10.
Okay.
Maybe if it's so bad and detrimental to you, you could politely say, hey there, when you're eating your chips, take one bite at a time, but the whole thing in your mouth? Oh, I don't know. I think you have to just see it differently. You have to not be so quick to be angry and not be so quick to be annoyed.
One of the things that bothers me, that's made my list, is people that I guess procrastination is a big deal. Procrastination, putting things off or being slow about it. Just they don't get in a hurry for anything. That drives me crazy. And another thing is when you ask people to do something, if they work for you, or if they live in your home, or
Right.
and you ask them to do something, and then you get back home, or you get to your office or your factory or whatever cubicle. I don't know where you work, but I've been at all of those, and it's not done. The job's not done, and then they go, "Well, I forgot."
I hate that excuse. I hate it. That's annoying.
That's bad. Annoying.
I just think that there are things, I mean, it's just like anything else we've talked about. There are things that you are non-negotiables. This has to be done. It's your job. Or this is really detrimental to your relationship with Christ. So let's talk about it. You know, if you have an investment in that life, if you're invested in that relationship, then I think you can talk about some things. But these little things, like this is not a hill I'm going to die on, right? I'm not going to lose a friendship because I wanted to address with them the fact that they cling their ice around.
Then I'm not gonna go eat with them,
Right, well, you may avoid some situations with
or try my
them,
best to avoid it.
right? But I also do think if you truly have friends that love you, they will pick up on these cues or whatever, and they may not intentionally, or they may pay more attention and not intentionally do it, right?
Yeah.
Just like our kids, when we've had these conversations, please don't do that. That's annoying the crap out of me. Like, they won't do it. Now, they'll do it sometimes to be funny, but they've learned over the years to not do that.
All right, so let's talk about real quick. We're only my phone went out. We're a few minutes in. I think we're 22 minutes in. So let's talk about some things real quick that annoy you. And I know I'm on the list, but there's several of those that I do.
Okay,
Husbands and wives.
snorting.
Okay.
Does it have to be on the list?
No.
Oh.
Oh, there's things that I do that didn't make the list. Okay. Well, at least I didn't make the list.
No.
So go.
No, the snorting is one, but that is because you have allergies.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't.
You're
think
trying
I
not to
have
hurt
a
my
whole-
feelings. Just
No,
do it.
I don't have a whole lot that annoy me with. I'm pondering it. Like, this question was out of nowhere.
That's what makes it awesome.
Let me ponder that for a second.
You guys need to be
What do
thinking.
you have?
You guys need to be thinking what annoys you if you're listening or watching. What annoys you?
Oh, I know. Oh,
and make a list.
I got one.
What?
Riding in the car,
Okay.
and somebody does something, and you want to yell at them, but they can't hear you. They have no idea that you're mad, but we hear the yelling, right?
Yeah.
And Haley has started to do that, and I have to tell her, no, ma'am.
Oh.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they can't even hear you. Stop. I'm the one that hears this. Like, I'm the one that's getting beat up here. Okay, so what about me? There's two. You really
When-
don't have a lot of ones.
Oh yeah. No, I don't have a lot with you.
No, I meant me with you.
Oh.
This is gonna be great.
Well, okay. I gotta be careful here because I gotta go to sleep, and I've watched The Burning Man, the movie. So,
Okay.
I think my number one thing that would annoy me that you do is talk to me like I'm a first grader.
I knew it was coming.
Because
I knew.
it's our kindergarten teacher. It's because you're in that mode all day long, every day, 5 days a week, and you come home. This is why I need you to do this. And Haley even does this now. She gives us these like she's itemizing these lists. And so what I'm doing, if you're listening, is I'm putting my hands together and I'm making a list and very dignified. But yeah, I think that would be the number one thing.
I'm sorry. It's hard to cut that off. Like, it's hard to go from one mode to the next.
Sometimes
When
it's
you
fun. Sometimes
discipline
it's funny, but
or talk to kids all day about their actions and consequences and things, like, I don't know, it's hard to cut that switch off when you come home.
So the next podcast is going to be how we justify our actions.
Excuses. What's the other thing?
I think that would probably be.
That's not. There's no way. There's only
It drives
one.
me crazy when you do this weird thing like this. You go,
Oh,
and it's like you're trying to pop your ears. I can't
that's
even do
what
it.
I'm doing.
But
see, and
it's
again, if there's a surgeon out there, something is wrong with my ears. to constantly blow out
But I didn't. I had no
like
idea.
that
I want to put my
pop
hand.
them open.
Do it, and let me see if. Watch. Do it real close to the mic.
What are you
and
gonna
I'm gonna
do?
put my hand up to your ear and see if air comes out.
No.
Well, you say you're blowing
No,
out your.
it's like the pressures within my eardrum.
Do it. Let
I
everybody see.
have a hole in my
Do it.
eardrum. I just did it.
Do
You
it.
missed
Do it loud. You can't hear that. The mic does not do justice.
It might have.
But we're just sitting there. Could be a serious moment, and then she makes this face. I don't even know. It's like she's trying to bite her own ear.
I don't think. Oh gosh. I don't think it's that.
All you gotta do is just put two fingers up and go
Not that severe.
like that.
Stop. It is not that severe.
It's bad.
But it is
it's
awkward.
tough.
It is awkward.
It's annoying.
I think I've caught myself doing it like in front of speaking in front of groups and stuff. Like at work, I've caught myself doing it, and I caught it when I did that.
You do it in
women's
Sunday school class. Sunday school class. If you watch, let us know.
Now they're gonna look for it. But I did it at the women's ministry when I talked. I did catch myself doing it. I can't. If I don't do that, I can't hear right. I have to blow it out of my ears. I don't know.
Blow it out your
I
ear.
don't know what to call it.
See,
I think the devil's using you.
I can say that though. Now blow it out your ear. My Boston accent.
That's hot dogs and basketballs.
You blowing it out your ear. But they say something else.
Oh, they don't. Yeah, they say an A word.
It's awesome. So annoyance. So how do you deal with annoying things and glorify God through annoying
Well,
things?
like I'm learning still to overlook your snorting, and I tell myself it's for
Wow.
a reason,
Well, that's true.
that it's a legitimate medical necessity.
I hate doing it. So it even bothers me to do it because I don't, but that's the only kind of relief I get. So it, just so you know, I never do it intentionally. Other than sometimes just to be fun.
And I don't do mine intentionally.
I know.
It's so I can all the better to hear you.
I know.
I just think you avoid situations you know you're going to be annoyed if you can,
Yeah.
right? If you know you're going into a place or a location or be with somebody that you know you can't handle and that you may ruin your testimony over, just don't do it. But I also think it's about time in our lives that we do two things. One, get over it and remember that the person and the relationship is more important.
Mhm.
So find a way to deal with it. I have a story about that, and I'll tell that in a second. But two, if it truly is something that's like detrimental to you and it's like a trauma, or because some of these annoyances could be based on past experiences
Right.
and traumas or something. I have a story for that too.
Oh gosh.
And so if you have the right relationship with that person and closeness, you have the right to have those discussions and say, hey, you may not realize this, but you're doing this, and it brings back really bad memories or whatever. So one of my stories is I worked at a grocery store and there was a cafe. I've told you this before, I think. I know I have. Now, whether you remember it, I don't know.
I'm waiting.
Okay.
You told me a lot of stories about the
So
grocery store.
at the cafe, we had all these like wooden doors, and when you went to shut them,
Oh, yeah.
they closed very fast and loudly.
Yeah.
Like there was no, unless you kept your hand on it the whole time, it goes pow, and
Yeah.
it shuts really loudly. And it was a cafe, so it just echoed everywhere. And there was an older gentleman who came frequently. And one day I did it not intentionally. I was refilling something, and he like was in tears. And he said, "Look, you don't know me other than I'm a regular customer." He said, "But that noise sets me into PTSD." And he was a veteran, and that noise every time I did it, or whoever was working did it, it literally set him into a moment. And he, gunshots or whatever that was for him. And so I realized at that time, oh my gosh, like I need to pay attention more of
Yeah.
what I'm doing and how it affects other people. But my other story is, and this is more about the relationship. A friend of mine and I were at a meeting, and there was a lady there, and whether she watches, I don't know, but she had a lot of the same annoyances that I do. The big one for her was gum smacking, which is for me too, and,
Yeah.
and for you.
But not to this point.
I had the gum in my mouth, and I was very conscious of it. I'm conscious of it anyways because of being
She
with
doesn't
you.
like chewing gum. It's period.
It
Anybody
was
chewing.
the noise of chewing. I wasn't smacking. I wasn't popping. Like it was literally there to give me fresh breath because I was at this business event. So anyway, I think both of us had them in our mouth. I can't remember. Anyway, She literally comes from across the room, not standing beside us, from across the room, and says, I'm going to need you to spit your gum out. It bothers me. And I thought, okay, okay, we'll do it. But man, I didn't want to. I wanted to be so rebellious and rude. But we spit our gum out for the just to save, I don't know what to save, the relationship. I don't even know. But I'm telling you right now, like for months,
It bothers you.
it really bothered me
Yeah.
because I thought, I have the right and the freedom to chew gum. Like, what? And it took me a while to figure out that it was literally, like I said, there is and I have to look at, there is
Yeah, you looked it
there's
up.
a disease, not a disease, but like a mental thing about it.
A
and
phobia.
Yeah. And so I tried to have some understanding, but it took me a very long time to have the understanding. But then I did. I learned. I never put gum in my mouth. I put a mint in.
Yeah.
So it took me a while, but I got there. And I just think in life that there's some of those things that you have to do that. It may take you a while to get there, but we all have to live together in this world.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also the other side of it is there are some things that are not worth ruining relationships over. Is the cat?
Cat just came out. So that's a good example. And that lady, that was one thing that was. She came home. You came home bothered by that. And you said this grown woman asked me, come across the room and asked me to take the gum out of my mouth, and I was like, what are you talking about? Were you sitting next to her? About no, she came across the room and told me to take it out of my mouth. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. I'll tell you this, and then you got it.
Well, it just says it's a mental condition, and I'm looking for the word. Go ahead. Oh, there it is. And I was right. It starts with an M. Misophonia.
Misophonia. Yeah, that is such a not even a real pet peeve. They're calling you misophonia.
It's
That's
called.
funny.
It's a phobia or a mouth. They're called mouth sounds such as loud chewing or lip smacking. Misophonia.
Oh, I got another one that you do. This is funny.
Oh,
this
Lord.
is funny. Talking about mouth noises. You do have mouth noises. When you chew stuff, you can hear like an ocean of sloshing going on. And it's not smacking. There's no smacking.
It's like
you don't even
so
open your
much
mouth.
space in my mouth that it echoes off the wall chambers.
I forgot all about that, but that is. Whew, maybe she just
I
heard
got that from my mom.
Yeah, maybe I got misophonia.
I don't know, but I'm pretty convinced by looking at my list that I do.
I'll tell you another one, final one for me that drives me crazy. And I've done real well on working on this, is people over talking me. But because I've been a keynote speaker I said it today, almost 30 years. For 28 years, I've done nothing but be a speaker.
Right.
I've spoke for a living. And when I'm teaching, I'm so used to being that keynote speaker and being the only one with the mic and the only one on the stage or whatever, what have you, people listening to me. It's taken me a long time to get used to people opening up and teaching. But then when you try to talk, or just in general in life, I'm talking and carrying on a conversation, and people overtalk me to the point it drives me crazy. But now I deal with it this way. It bothers me so much, and I thought, well, I do that some, or used to do it. I don't do it anymore. And now I get deathly quiet, and I try to listen.
Yeah.
And I know it drives you crazy sometimes. You're like, say something. And like a few weeks ago in Sunday school, or a couple weeks ago in Sunday school, I literally was listening. I had nothing to add.
Yeah, you were so quiet.
I had nothing to add because I needed the lesson. I wanted to hear it. I wanted to know what everybody's take was on it. And so I'm being quiet for, 10 minutes maybe. I didn't say a word, and that's unusual.
The whole class was like, are you okay?
Yeah, well, it's fine. There was fine. But I do it to a fault now because I don't want to overtalk, and we team teach, and we do this and that kind of stuff. So I try to be quiet, but over-talking people, you've got people, if you're listening or watching, you got to let people finish their thoughts. That is so annoying.
And I do it. I've caught myself several times, especially at work, over talking people, and a lot of times it's because I feel like I gotta get my thought out. I forget what I need to say. I don't think you do that to
me though, and I just overtalk you.
I think
so awesome.
I've tried to make a conscious effort to be better at it because I knew it was a problem and I would catch myself doing it. But one of my key goals in even my work life was to listen more and speak less. And so they kind of went hand in hand. I tried to listen more and speak less, and so therefore I was less likely to interrupt people. But it is something I still have to work
I think
on.
it's just things that we all got to work on. I mean,
Yep. Don't be used by the devil.
Yeah, being annoying. If you do it on purpose, you have some kind of demon.
Well,
or
then you're
something.
not. But then if you're doing it on purpose, you're not being in love. You're not doing it out of love.
But we also, the people, you guys watching and us here or you're listening, we sometimes have to find ways to get over annoyances. Some people just can't help it. Some people have problems where they can't close their mouth. Some people do have deviated septums and things
And
they
have to
can't
breathe through their mouth, right?
breathe through their mouth. So there are things that medically, the snorting, I don't know if that's medical. It's probably in my head. I've done it all my life. That's something I
mental
probably could try to fix. But
I'll look it up.
there are certain things where people can't help it. Driving on a left-hand lane, you can help that. Clanging your ice, you can help that kind of stuff. So just keep those things in mind. Any last words real quick that you got?
Stop being used by the devil.
Stop being used by the devil. Thank you guys for joining us on 314 Podcast. We hope this confused you, blessed you, annoyed you, whatever. But we'll see you next time. Stay close, stay clean, and we'll see you next time. I'm going to shut you off with my watch.